Hey guys, it's me, James Clausen here, come back to you again with another video. It has been a while, I'm not gonna lie, probably because I'm enjoying spring break. And not to mention, I'm planning things. I'm still planning because I'm slow. But, yeah. Today I have a deck profile again. What? Another deck profile? Oh, I know, I'm so common with that. But today is actually one that I've been wanting to do, but it's been taking me so damn long. Today I have a Zane Truesdale inspired deck profile of Cyber Dragons. So, without further ado, let's get the show on. Alright, first thing, second verse, same as the first. We're going to start off with the monsters. We go for the monster category first, then spells, and then traps. So, starting off, we're going to kick off with the OG Cyber Dragon. 3 copies of the main thing. Now, I would have got the black version because I like the black version better, but then again, I still like this one because it's OG. The OG Cyber Dragon. Next up, 2 copies of Toon Cyber Dragon. Mainly because it's a decent tech-in, not to mention he's Cyber Dragon, essentially. And I also love the artwork. Next up, 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Dry. Now I know what you guys are thinking. 1 copy? Shouldn't you have more than 1? Yes. The reason why I haven't got it because I'm under a budget right now, and I have some other decks I'm still working on. But when I do get more money, I'll chop that and I'll add more, and that's the reason why. Next up, buy something to make up for that with 2 copies of Cyber Dragons Y. Why? Why is Y, you ask? Because he's another name, and not to mention it's a pretty decent name. Next up, hang on, got forward. 3 copies of the Proto Cyber Dragon. Yes, I know what you guys are thinking. 3 copies of Proto Cyber Dragon? You are an idiot. Yes and no. The reason why is because not to mention, before I forget, I'm gonna say this right now. This deck is not tournament legal because of the draw power I have in it. And not to mention, he's fusion summon fodder, and he's a name. And that's pretty much it, really. Next up, 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core. Now, you definitely need 3, because there's a spell card that I have in my deck that allows you to get 2 of this exact same monster out. You'll see it later. This card is actually very helpful, especially since he's not only fusion summon fodder, he's cyber spell card fodder, and he can banish himself to special summon OG Cyber Dragon. So you need him. He's very versatile. Next up, some Tekkens that I threw in. Jizukiru, the Star Destroying Kaiju. He's a Tekken. He's a machine type. Not to mention, I can use him as fusion fodder for Fortress Dragon. And I'm gonna get another copy pretty soon here. All right, next up, hang on, let me get this in a pile real quick. Next up, 1 copy of Doom Caliber Knight. Now, I said this was inspired, so Doom Caliber Knight. I know this is not what Zane would play, but I have cards that he does play. So this is 1 copy of Doom Caliber Knight. What Doom Caliber Knight does is that if a card activates that targets a card, negate and destroy it by tributing him. I mentioned he's a 1900 beater, so that's really decent. Pretty much like Luster Dragon, but better. Next up, 2 copies of Elemental Hero Prisma. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Prisma? This is new. Mainly because I love Prisma. Not to mention his ability is actually really decent, and it allows him to become the material for a summon of a monster. Specifically, any fusion monster. I just revealed one of his fusion monsters. My bad. Next up, 2 copies of Gold Gadget. Now, I know what you guys are also thinking. Why Gold Gadget? What the hell are you doing? Gold Gadget allows you, when he's normal or special summoned, I can special summon a light machine type monster. And this is also a good thing because he's a light machine type fodder monster I can use. For fusion fodder, but also special summoning fodder, which is very helpful. Next up, 1 copy of Absorbing Jar. I would have had Cyber Jar or something else to put in here, but oh well. It actually allows me. I mentioned this is draw power. This is exactly what I was talking about, but draw power. Next up, an old card that you guys might remember that I used to play, Exploder Dragon. 1 copy. I told you guys before, this is not This is actually not that it is powerful, but not that powerful. And I'll explain why. Exploder Dragon, when he's destroyed, he destroys the monster that destroyed it, which is actually really fucking mean. So if your opponent had like a really big monster and they go to attack into him, he just says, "Hey, guess what? Boof, you're dead." And that's it for the monster lineup. Let's get into the spell card lineup. Kicking off with, a second here, 1 copy of Polymerization, just 1. Mainly because there's a whole bunch of other cards that I have in here that improve the fusion summoning gimmick with this deck. Next up, 1 copy of Dark Hole, because Dark Hole. Limiter removal, this doubles up the machine type's attack but blows them up during the end phase. And I'm going to tell you, and this is the reason why I've only had 1 Polymerization in this deck. 1, 2, 3 copies of Power Bond. Mainly because Power Bond allows you to send the materials that you need from your hand or side of the field to the graveyard to fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck. But it also doubles its attack, which makes it a really big monster. But you do also take damage during the end phase. Next up, Cybernetic Fusion Support. 1 copy. You only need 1. Because also it's a target for Cyber Dragon Core's ability. Next up, Cyber Repair Plant. What this does, it allows you to, if you have at least one Cyber Dragon, you can activate one of their effects. If you have 3, you can activate both of their effects, which is also very helpful. Especially that's also why I have Zwei because he becomes Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. But if I reveal a spell card, he becomes Cyber Dragon on the field. Evolution Burst, 1 copy. It allows you to pop pretty much, like I said, it is based on Zane's deck, but heavily altered. Evolution Burst is Cyber Dragon's main attack in the anime, but in the American version it's called Strident Blast. I don't get why they called it that. Next up, here's the card that I was talking about with Cyber Dragon Core. We could double them up. Machine Duplication. What this does, allows you to target one monster of 500 or less attack, special summon 2 other monsters, or up to 2 other monsters with the exact same name, level, and attack from your deck. Here's the draw power that makes this deck completely illegal. 2 copies of Pot of Greed. Now, of course, I think you fool. You're a fool if you don't know what Pot of Greed does, but I'm gonna explain anyway. It allows you to draw 2 cards from the deck. So, yeah. And last but not least, Graceful Charity. What it does is it allows you to draw 3 cards and discard 2, which is actually really cool. It's a -3 for +3. That's it for the spell card lineup. Let's get to the traps, which is not that impressive, but it helps. 1 copy Cyber Network. What this does, it allows you to, if you control Cyber Dragon, you can banish, during my main phase, I can banish one light machine type monster once per turn, and during the 3rd standby phase, it gets destroyed, but when it gets destroyed, special summon the banished light machine type monsters from this effect. So it pretty much just says, hey, guess what? If I have a Cyber Dragon on board, boom, 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 multiple monsters. Next up, Torrential Tribute, just for that pretty much that fodder effect, which pretty much just blows up everything when something's summoned. Next up, Bottomless Trap Hole. Yeah, pretty much just allows you to destroy and banish monsters that were special summoned or summoned in general. 1 copy Sakuretsu Armor, because I don't have a Mirror Force at the moment. And last but not least, another card that I might as well just call it Greedy Cyber Dragon, because there's a greed theme with this. 1 copy of Reckless Greed, because it allows me to draw 2 cards, but also skip my next 2 draw phases. And that's it for the spell, trap card, and monster card lineup. Next up, here's the extra deck lineup. Now this is where it gets good, as the Cyber Dragon deck itself was also good. Next up, 2 copies of Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon. Now it would bump up to 3, but then again, I only need 2 because of its gimmick. What it does is it requires 2 or more Cyber Dragon monsters. Pretty much you can use any Cyber Dragon monster essentially. But what it does is it gets to pop that many spell or trap cards equal to how many materials you used. So pretty much you can go for Power Bond, bond it up, and bring out Chimera Tech, blow your opponent's crap up. And then you get to use its secondary ability, which is to send 2 light machine type monsters from your deck to the graveyard, or up to 2, and you can attack 2 more additional times. So pretty much power bond, fuse up for this, blow up your opponent's back row, then special summon, then use its ability, send 2 to the graveyard, and attack him for game, essentially. Which makes him very popular in a Cyber Dragon deck, and that's why I play 2. And speaking of popularity, 2 copies of Chimeratech Fortress Dragon. This is well known for being a Dynamist Eater, essentially. What this does is allows you to fusion summon it using Cyber Dragon or 1 or more machine-type monsters from either player's side of the field. And it gains 1,000 attack for each fusion material. So essentially, if you could bump it up to 4,000, limiter removal, ramp it up to 8,000, which is really powerful. Next up, 2 copies of Cyber Twin Dragon. What he does is he requires 2 Cyber Dragons, but the good news is he can attack twice during the same battle phase. So if you power bond into him, if you don't have an option to go with Chimeratech Rampage Dragon, use Cyber Twin Dragon. Next up, 2 copies of one of my favorite Chimeratechs, Chimeratech Over Dragon. What he does is that he can use 1 Cyber Dragon and 1 or more machine type monsters. For which, if you use at least, like, I actually went for game with this monster multiple times, and he gains 800 attack for every single material that you used for him. Pretty much, if you use 20 materials, his card gains that. Pretty much, he gets really powerful. Next up, the OG Cyber End Dragon, the black version. Now, the reason why, because I love the black version. I personally prefer this one over the over the white version. Not because I'm racist or anything like that. It's because I love the design, where he's like really dark and mysterious and evil. And last but not least, and I know what you guys are probably thinking, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova. Now, what he does is actually pretty cool. What he does is he requires 2 machine type monsters, and when he does, is that he can detach an Exceed material and banish 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your hand or in your grave, or on the side of the field. He gets 21 additional attack. Then, if he gets destroyed by a card effect, he can special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck. So pretty much, if his gets blown up, you can bring out this big guy. Especially during the battle phase, you can just end your opponent for game, which is really powerful. And that's it for the Cyber Dragon build. I hope you guys liked it. If you do, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. And there will be more videos, and there will be more live streams, because I've been thinking a lot lately, and I mentioned I gotta get them done. I mentioned I'm working on my friend's channel and stuff like that, so. But right now, I hope you guys liked watching this, and I will make more videos and stuff like that. So I'll see you guys. Stick around, and see you guys later on the Red X Syndicate. Well, that's what I have to say. Bye bye.